Well, what's going on, guys? So it's the next day after the 57, and it's kind of maiden voyage around the block. Unfortunately, the weather's really gone to crap. Sweater weather right now when it's raining and stuff, so I'm just kind of cleaning up the garage a little because you know, next thing I want to do is make this thing look like a car. Bumpers on, headlights on, put the hood on, all that sort of fun stuff. But before I do that, you know, I've said thanks for subscribing, watching, and all those things. I know I ask, I'm sure you get tired of it, and watching the ads, it's a pain in the ass. But I just want to show you this real quick. So this is my little YouTube dashboard. Hey, I'm an amateur at this, so don't look too much into me here. So I put this video up yesterday with it running, you know, so it's in 17 hours ago, you know, 4,000 views and stuff, which is going pretty good. In the last month, I've gone up almost 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate every one of you. And I figure I'd just kind of show you the analytics here. So this is, it goes in 28 days, wherever you kind of set up for. So I want to do actually a custom one, because I bought this thing and put my first video up. Oh, yeah, it's amateur. July 26th was the first day I put a video up with this thing. I think that's the day I got it. So you can kind of click down here, and it'll say that was the first video I put up. So, and today's the 25th. So almost exactly, you know, a month later. All the videos are here, all the views I've gotten and stuff, and the dollars I made. So almost 900 bucks. That's American dollars. I'm Canadian, so that translates to basically 1,200 bucks, which is exactly what I paid for this car. So in the 1 month of putting these videos up, the car has paid for itself, and that's 100% thanks to you guys. So I really do appreciate that. I mean, obviously I've put a bunch more money into the thing, probably about another 1,500 bucks, but overall, you know, it's kind of working. So what I'm doing is every kind of 2 or 3 days, I'm trying to put out a video as best I can. If that's what you guys like, just let me know. If you want to see kind of more, you know, one more in-depth one or something like that once a week, I'm pretty open to it. Ultimately, I really appreciate the views, and ultimately the dollars. I didn't think that would be a real thing for me, but it works out pretty good. So you can see every time a video goes out, it spikes up, and I make, you know, whatever it's going to be, 50 bucks, 60 bucks, 70 bucks. Works out great, and then it kind of trails down and goes up and down, up and down. But it's fantastic. I really appreciate you guys helping me grow the channel. I'm going to kind of keep doing my thing, obviously. And yeah, that's it. If you guys have any questions about that, I'm an open book to it. I'll help you. I'm not trying to make $1 million, but if I can pay these cars off, I can afford more of them, which is pretty slick. So like I said, today the plan is kind of keep cleaning up and stuff. I put a bunch of stuff in the car. So I don't know if I'm going to start putting the trim on the inside. I really want to get the headlights on, get all that buttoned up. I got all the wiring kind of just strewn across. Try and get the hood on, finish up the under hood there with the heating and all that. The blower fan, maybe check that. At the back, I got the bumper. It's pretty hammered up. I think I have the 2 little buckets on the basement. So I'll put the back bumper on. I really want it to look kind of like a car from the outside, and then once I get that, I might actually back it out, hose it all off, blow the junk out of it, because it's all it's been in the garage now for a few weeks, and kind of go from there. So I'll get started on a few things, bring you guys back and show you how it goes. So I've been working on the back part of the car. So I got the bumper all bolted together. I had to run to the parts store and get some carriage bolts, pan these back brackets, put it together, but look at that. The only thing I'm missing, that little rectangle missing, is where the plate light goes. So I haven't quite found that yet. I had to pull this little piece off because I found all the fuel door mechanism. I mean, that's why I have a 57 Chevy right there. So I managed to find this little piece in here, painted that up, ran the filler through it. I have a gas cap for it, but I don't know where I put it. So for now, it doesn't have one. I mean, come on. New cars just don't have stuff like that. So anyways, this bottom piece for the light will go on, and then the bumper will go on beneath it, and it sandwiches all together. So I'm hoping I'll be able to slide that back on, rest this bumper on that milk crate so it won't fall on my dome, and bolt her together. Then it should look pretty much complete on the back, other than no lenses. Bumper's on. I swear these things are getting heavier. This bumper is hammered. Like it's pretty beat up, so definitely I'll be on the lookout for at least a new center section there. So I know all these end pieces are pricey, but yeah, that's that. This is where the license plate light goes that I was talking about, because the license plate will go right there. I have all the wires for it. So yeah, it's about putting some sockets in and some bulbs and stuff like that will be perfect. Man, that's the best part right there. I'm pretty stoked on that. Anyways, it's about lunchtime for me, so I'll take a little break and then put some headlights and stuff like that in there, and then maybe I'll try and wrestle this hood on, see if Danny can help me out, or if my old man will come over. So I was messing with these wipers. It's quite a setup. So I learned a lot doing it, which is kind of fun actually. It's a little frustrating. Luckily I actually had another one out of who knows what. So the way this thing works is it's got this, this is what the motor attaches to and spins this back and forth with the vacuum pump. And there's two drums, and it's super simple. These cables literally just wrap around and hook into little like tabs, kind of like a brake lever on a bicycle. And then this obviously goes through the hole in the cowl. So it comes out and has this little chrome piece and a little lock nut there. And then these here, there's a couple of little studs under the hood. And these are your adjusters, so you kind of get in there, and I don't know how, I haven't adjusted them yet, but you kind of just crank on it, and as you pull on it, put tension on it, you snug that up, and that keeps the cable tight. The confusing part was the driver's side, the cable is straight. On the passenger side, it actually loops. And I guess that's because the wipers on these cars, they go into each other, you know what I mean? Like they start off in the middle and work their way out and then back in. So yeah, it was kind of cool. And then this thing here, so I have it in the neutral position, but it only goes a quarter turn one way or the other. So you can see I'm all the way over, middle, over. So it was a little interesting, but I managed to get it all together, so that's kind of cool. The next thing I think I might do, I hope I didn't do it backwards, I think the trim has to go in there. So I was thinking I'm going to slide the trim in, maybe start working on that, because these are still just loose. I haven't locked these down, so worst case I can slide in there, pull on it, do what I gotta do, and figure that part of this process out. There's only one tab, so I gotta find some other ones or something. But I'll get working on that, and once I figure out how that works, I'll show you, because I'm sure I'll find it interesting too. Basically trapped in the garage, it's pouring rain out. Just taking a little bit of a break, but it's water halfway in the shop. Anyways, I'm making lots of progress here on the trim. So I managed to get this side completely on, and I'm happy with it. The whole way around there's a bunch of little pieces and kind of funny stuff, but it's on there and I'm happy. It fit behind the little wiper. So this side I still got to do, but basically it just kind of slides on kind of on this little tab and then into that one and there. And then there's a hole here which is kind of oblong, which I assume is meant so it kind of fits in and you screw it down. That's what I'm doing anyways. I don't have any of those little sliding tabs, but I do have these. These are off the trim I got the 55. So I took one out, I just kind of cut it down to the size I want. It seemed to work fine on that side. And then there's a little goofy bracket that goes right there to hold the corner piece on, a couple of screws, and that's it. So I should be able to get those all done. Then I can tighten these down 100%. Once that's done, I can put the wiper motor on. And then all I gotta do is run, well, I mean, vacuum lines to it, but that's easy. There's lots of vacuum on the carburetor. And I might have to change the switch, because I think the switch in there doesn't have the knob on it. Like I said, I do have a spare one. So yeah, I mean, lots of little things. Unfortunately, it's kind of slow moving, but well, that's hot rod. So all the trim is on. I mean, it's a little beat up. I could take it apart and hammer it all out and stuff, but suits the car, so that's all dealt with. The nubs are on, everything's all tightened down. Found the old wipers, so I can put those on. I just want to double check it's all straight. I put on the wiper motor, so I ran a little oil through it just so, you know, it's got a little piece of rubber in there and just kind of works its way back and forth like a flapper. It's making all the right noises, hopefully it'll be good. I want to just get that, some vacuum to it, and hook up switch, and hopefully it'll actually turn. I'll know where it zeroes out and all that. Then I can put the wipers on. So yeah, lots of progress. I'm going to clean up a little bit. It's supper time. It's actually way past supper. It's about 8 o'clock. And maybe I'll get Danny out here. We'll put the hood on. Otherwise, be back at tomorrow. See how it goes. Well, I didn't make it out again last night. So it's the next day after work. Still kind of crappy weather out. It's getting cold here, which is a real bummer. So I pulled the fan out. I'll get that kind of cleaned up before I install it. Next thing I'm going to work on is try and get the headlight buckets and all that in properly. I finished all the chrome and all that off. I don't know where I left exactly there. Convinced my old man to come over. Hopefully we're going to be able to slap this hood on. So I got the hinges where I want them and everything. I just got to get a couple bolts set up. I assume it's just some 3/8 bolts, but I'll have to double check, make sure I have those. Slap that on there. Put the hood down. Maybe back this thing out and give it a wash. I want to take a look at it, take a step back, make it feel like it's a real car. So I'll get going on that, bring you guys back, kind of show you where I'm at. Hopefully everything will work out, and yeah, progress. So I was just preparing the hood for my old man to come over, and of course there was a broken bolt. So I had to get a little creative, heat it up, weld a bolt onto it, and screw around. So that was a pain. The other thing I noticed when I was going through here, the hood was dented on the back side of all these, so I just double checked the bolts I had, and I just ground the tips off them, so I shouldn't put any pressure on the hood. So yeah, sideways, but crisis averted. The hood should be able to go on no problem now. There we go, hood's on. It's kind of hard to get far enough away from it in the garage here, but it's motivated me. So it fits decent. It's got a decent gap. This side I had to space it a little bit. There's a couple of washers, and it sits a little high in the one corner, but I mean, hey, it's good enough for now. Once I get the thing on the road, I can start adjusting everything. I think I'm going to feel pretty motivated, so I might just clean it off, back it outside, and wash the whole car tonight, because it looks cool. I like it. So I gave it a quick bath there. My plan is it's supposed to rain the next few days, and so that's a bit of a pain, but I want to get all the junk off it, get all the grease, all the dirt, all that stuff off. Got my old man come back, and he's going to start polishing up the roof, and I'm really excited for that, because it's got I guess it must be like the original red oxide primer under the white. So I'm hoping a bunch of that white comes off and it looks nice and ratty. And then he never did all the little nooks and crannies up in the top and stuff like that, and parts needed again. And then we can go a little finer and see, and he likes doing that stuff, so works out pretty good. But that's probably the first car wash this thing has had as a complete car in who knows how many years. But it's together, it runs and drives. Short list now, I got lots to do in the interior. Like I said, it's gonna be a bunch of rainy weather. Headlights, taillights, eventually I'll get to that. I won't just keep talking about it, but yeah, I like the way this thing turned out. I think Danny's gonna love it. But that's it for me in this video. Do me a favor, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, do all those things. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you want to hear more about the channel, how it works and all that. I'd love to do that. Otherwise, that's it for me. I'll see you guys on the next one.